Well, good morning, everyone. Once again, how are you? And welcome to another Doctor is In podcast. And we appreciate you guys coming on. And those of you who can watch us live, thank you. We appreciate it. And we like to say hello at the start of our program. Sandy, you're number one today. Brahim. From Portland, Oregon, and Sandy's from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Hi, John. How are you? Andrea, Niagara Falls. I don't know how, Sandy, you got in there, but good for you. Nativity, good morning. And Karen from Peterborough. Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Bonjour. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, thanks for coming on. Rosa from Montreal. Wendy from Markham. And Nick from our staff, and Doc McEwen, who I never, ever see that name, but the last few days I've seen her. Frida, Donna from Park Hill, Jeanette, and Jeanette, even though she's retired. How do you like that? Cheryl, West Virginia. Carol, West Virginia. Sandy, how are you, from Vancouver, Washington? Helga, good morning from Scarborough. Rita, how are you? Fran from Orangeville. Hi, Fran, how is you? Jeanette, how are you? Dave from Gilmore. Donna from Bell Valley. Carmel from Newfoundland. Diane, good morning, Diane, from LaSalle. And what was that one? I couldn't see. Kevin from Oshawa. Hi, Kev. Wendy, London. Sharon, Kansas. We appreciate you guys coming on. Denise, Andrea, and Diane, Thunder Bay. And Darlene, how are you, Darlene, from Saskatchewan? And Arlene. And Michael. And Maureen. Marianne, London. And Francis, good morning. Couple more guys. Judy, New Brunswick. Mary, New Brunswick. How do you like that? Kitty from Kelowna. John, good morning from Lefroy. And Georgie, there she is, from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Robin, Dave from Cardiff. It's like I know all you guys. John, Fenland Falls. Leela from Burner, right? Jude, how are you? Is that from Troy, New York? Joanne, Gatineau, Quebec. Mary, Sunny PEI. Donna, lots of Donnas on. Elaine, good morning. Carol, and we appreciate you. Rita from New Brunswick. And Kelly, hi Kelly. And Joan from Blind River. Anna, Manitoba. See, Jude, Troy, New York. I knew it. Anne, we love you. And Dave saying hi to Brenda, I think, right? Okay, let's get going. I brought this to you before, but I got to comment on it again because I was reading it last night, and it really struck me. This was a Danish study done in 2010, okay? And what they did, okay, is they did a normal diet for 6 months, okay? And but they changed the drink, okay? So we talk about that a lot, right? One of the biggest problems in our society today is what we drink, okay? What we drink. But listen to this, okay? A Danish study done in 2010, so it's a while ago, or is this 2016? I can't even read my own writing now. Okay, normal diet for 6 months. They all ate what they always ate for 6 months, but they drank, okay? One group drank 1 liter of soda a day, a liter. of soda a day. Okay? That was their change. They gained 22 pounds. Okay? One group drank milk, 1 liter. No change in terms of weight. One group drank 1 liter of water a day. They lost 5 pounds. Didn't change their diet, they lost 5 pounds, okay? Then they had the group, okay, afterwards, the group that drank soda that had gained 22 pounds, they switched them over to water only, and then they lost 6 pounds rapidly, okay? So what's the key? What's the takeaway, right? And, listen, this is a group, by the way, okay? One group drank 1 liter of soda. That's the one that drank 22 pounds. And then there was a group that drank diet soda. 1 liter of diet soda a day. They gained 3.5 pounds. They gained weight, even on diet soda. What's the moral of the story? Drink coffee. You knew I was going to come to that. Which is actually very good for your insulin too, right? And the other one is drink water. Drink water. Nothing like water, okay? And just by drinking water, they didn't even change their diet. They lost 5 pounds. Now, guys, at the end of the day, let me say this, okay? You're never going to outdrink, even with water, outdrink a bad diet. You can't do that. You can't do that. Nothing replaces food. But what I did with the reset, okay? What I did with the reset in the 30-day program, I really got people to change their habits when it came to drinking, okay? I really got them to change their habits. Because most of the people that I put on the reset, not all, but most, they weren't used to drinking 2 liters of water a day. I insisted it's part of the reset. What does water do? Water cleanses. Water cleanses your kidneys. Water hydrates like nothing else, okay? So, what did I get them to do? I got them to drink water, get used to it. No diet soda. Okay, a lot of people were drinking diet soda. I said, look, on the reset, 30 days, drink water and coffee. If you want a tea, you can have a tea. But coffee, and we talked about it already, is better for you. Okay? So that was the reset. And what they found out, by the way, this is a study that was done on diet soda. Okay? So I already talked about it. People that drank diet soda didn't change their diet or whatever, but they were their drink was diet soda. They were gaining weight. And here's why. Because diet soda, it won't elevate your glucose. Doesn't elevate glucose. Your blood glucose. Okay? So does that make it better? Well, it's probably better than having a Pepsi or a Coke. But it will, okay, here's 3 things. It increases your insulin. Even though there's no sugar, it increases your insulin. And what does that do? Remember, insulin is a storage hormone. You increase insulin over a period of time, you increase insulin resistance, and you store more fat. You store more fat. So again, it increases your insulin, it increases your fat, And thirdly, it disrupts your gut, okay? And I remember doing this on my radio show years ago, that the early studies on diet soda, we didn't know too much when it first came out. And I don't know if you guys, well, I know some of you know this story, but my dad was the first guy, I think, I don't know. In 1968, and I'm not kidding you, okay? My dad started drinking diet soda. Like, I think it was Tab. Oh, I said, remember, okay? I'm 16 or whatever. I said, what in the heck are you drinking? Yikes. It tasted like glorified urine as far as I was concerned. Okay, it was terrible stuff. But my dad, who got the diagnosis of diabetes, he was so regimented. Okay, we're talking 1968 here, my friends. He was so regimented on not drinking any more soda with sugar in it. And the first ones, I think, I know Tab for sure, because I still remember it. I think, what was the other ones? Oh, they were awful. I can't get over it on my dad. He just said, well, I can't have any sugar, son, because I suffer with what we used to call diabetes, sugar diabetes. It's sugar diabetes, son. Okay. Yeah. And remember, when I took 2,000 hours of nutrition, I was taught moderation. But I knew better. Okay? As a student, I knew better because I had the best teacher in the world. My dad was a diabetic. So I've been studying diabetes for a long time, folks. And what you drink has a major effect. And don't fool yourself with diet soda, okay? Don't fool yourself with it. It disrupts, and this is what I used to talk about on my radio show, it disrupts your microbiome. We've known that for a long time. We've known that for a long time, that it disrupts it can create a dysbiosis even though there's no sugar in it. Even though there's no sugar in it. It elevates insulin. We didn't know that before. It elevates insulin resistance. Thus, it stores fat and creates inflammation. Because we know that about insulin resistance. So guys, I guess, look, I guess diet soda is better than drinking a soda that's got 14 teaspoons of sugar in it. I remember one time doing a TV show, okay? I had written a book, Serial Killers, 2 Hormones. No, it wasn't even that one. It's another book that I had written on, what was it again? Oh, Secrets Your Doctor Won't Share With You. Okay? And I was being interviewed on a TV show for that book. And what I did is I thought I would bring a prop. Okay? One thing when you get interviewed on a TV show, you get about 3 to 5 minutes. You gotta be short. But I said, look, I just want to talk about sugar. Because people, a lot of times, they don't read labels or look at labels or whatever. They don't realize what they're doing to their bodies. And, of course, I was talking way back then about diabetes and the curse of the 21st century. And I said, listen, let's look at this. I said, here's a glass of water, and I had sugar beside me with a spoon, and I just kept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was making my host nauseated. I mean, they didn't know what I was going to do this. And I said, this is what people drink when they drink a soda in North America. They don't realize it, how much sugar's in it. And a lot of people, oh, it's just one Pepsi a day or one Coca-Cola or one Mountain Dew. I think Mountain Dew's got more sugar in it. I said, you know what? This is killing us. Because I said, listen, and what the soda industry does, okay? And by the way, the soda industry owns a lot of the food industry. PepsiCo and Coca-Cola, they own a vast majority of the food industry. And what they do is they not only talk about moderation, but people don't realize what they drink is so important. And you know what? It's just, and I said, look, there's 14 teaspoons. I said, you drink this now, to the host of the program. He said, I wouldn't touch that with a 100-foot pole. I said, well, all they do, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, now they put food coloring in it. I said, you have color. And that's how much sugar you're drinking. And I said, the worst thing when you drink something, like high fructose, because what's in there is not just sugar, it's high fructose corn syrup. And that fructose goes immediately to the liver. Now you got to understand, this was, 15 years ago. So I've been talking about what you drink makes a huge difference in your life. On the negative side, people are not drinking enough water. And only water is water. And I said, it's a habit. And, young people, unfortunately, they're allowed to drink soda. And you're better off weaning your kids and your grandchildren on water. It's so much better for them. And as adults, we get to drink coffee. You don't know how many people left my office with the reset plan to change their lives nutritionally and gave me a high five because they said, you can have coffee, by the way. Just don't mess it up with sugar. You can't have sugar, and I really don't want you to put that artificial stuff in either. Okay? Like the Splendas and all, leave that stuff alone. You'll get used to it. Trust me. Give me 21 days in your life. You're going to give me 30, but the first 21, I know enough about this that you will change habits. Okay? You'll change your habits. You'll realize when you start drinking water how good water is for you. And you'll realize how dehydrated you really were. You'll figure it out. It'll make a big difference in your life. And if you like coffee, as most people do, I said, well, there's your bonus. You get to drink it. It's actually quite good for you. And the sweet spot for it is about 4 cups a day. Eliminate diet soda. Eliminate all sodas. Never drink juice. You know me on juice, okay? I don't care if it's Tropicana. Oh, I heard that so often in the office. Dr. Martin, I gotta have my orange juice and I use the like Tropicana. And I would say, I don't care. And I mean it. It's going right to your liver. It's going to create fatty liver rapidly. The number 1 drink in North America, did you know this, guys? Is orange juice. That gives me a migraine. People think it's good for them. It ain't good for you. It packs up your liver with fat. And if you pack up your liver with fat, that you're going to elevate your triglycerides and lower your HDL, your cholesterol. That's not good for you. Fatty liver, something I never even studied in school, fatty liver. We studied cirrhosis of the liver, but never fatty liver. Okay? Very important. And one of the best things you can do for your heart, never mind your liver, your heart, is lay off diet soda. Soda. That sugar just rapidly creates a problem of high triglycerides and low HDL. You know that. I talk about that all the time. When you get your blood work, look at your triglycerides. Your doctor will focus in on cholesterol. I want you to focus in on two things. What are your triglycerides and what are your HDL? Look at that. That ratio right there can save your life if you know it. And the pharmaceutical industry, who have hijacked medicine, want people to worry about their cholesterol and their total cholesterol, and especially their LDL cholesterol. I don't buy it, guys. And study after study after study has shown, if you look at all these studies, that first of all, statin drugs do nothing. Statin drugs, for those of you who don't know what they are cholesterol lowering medication. I'll tell you something. They don't work. They don't work. They haven't eradicated heart disease at all because they're looking for love in the wrong places. So you lower your LDL and total cholesterol. What's that going to do for you? That's not going to save your bacon. That's not going to save your heart. That's not going to save your blood vessels. What'll save your blood vessels if you lay off the sugar and empty your liver? That'll help your blood vessels because you're going to lower your triglycerides and elevate your HDL. That's what your heart will thank you. Your brain too, by the way. Your kidneys will thank you. The biggest problem in blood pressure is kidneys. And it ain't salt. For years, I studied that even in school in the 70s. Salt elevates blood pressure. No, sugar does. Okay, sugar does. Not salt. Ooh. Okay. Anyway, I thought I'd bring you that study on drinking because we like alcohol. Everybody knows this, okay? Everybody. You don't have to go to any kind of school to know that alcohol is hard on your liver, okay? Everybody knows that. You don't have to learn that in medical school, okay? About cirrhosis of the liver. But soda and alcohol, what's the difference? What's the difference? And this fructose. And I saw someone the other day talking about, glucose and fructose are the same. No, they're not. Now, they're similar. But fructose makes a beeline for your liver rapidly. It's like alcohol. Alcohol goes to your liver. Everybody knows that. And, we studied cirrhosis of the liver. But soda does that too. But it starts with fatty liver. That's the problem with it. And then can advance to, but the way the body reacts to fatty liver is that it dumps triglycerides into your bloodstream. And everybody's got triglycerides in their bloodstream. And that's all right. But as long as it's low, you don't want high triglycerides. Triglycerides are fat balls. You want to gum up your blood vessels? Fat balls will do it for you. And one of the reasons you want your cholesterol to be elevated, you want cholesterol to be elevated. Why? Because they're FedEx trucks. They're Amazon trucks. They're whatever kind of trucks you like on the highways and byways of your blood vessels, and they actually go and pick up triglycerides. They hitch their wagon to it. And so that those triglycerides come back into your liver to be processed. You want cholesterol. You want cholesterol. And they made cholesterol a boogeyman, and even LDL especially, because they found a medication to lower it. It was based on a false premise. We promised to get rid of heart disease. You haven't done a good job, because heart disease is worse than ever. We're in 2025 and they're still doing the same thing. And I don't know how they expect to get different results when you haven't changed anything. You go to your physician, your cholesterol, they look at cholesterol. They don't look at the ratio of triglycerides and HDL. They haven't been taught that. Most doctors. If they're a functional doctor, okay? If they're a doctor that keeps up on their reading, and it's not just medical journals that they're reading. They're actually looking at research. And they'll show you by looking at research that, man, I haven't been looking at that triglyceride HDL ratio. I wasn't taught that in school. I was only taught about LDL and cholesterol, and now they talk about APO and these small particle, and I get a migraine when the pharmaceutical companies go into the weeds in order to confuse everyone, including your physician. God loved the physicians, but they just got to do some reading and studying and just understand. Lowering people's cholesterol, well, what's that doing? How come we got no results? And they don't see the connection between what people are drinking and what people are eating and the amount of sugar. And when you get high blood pressure, right away, it's medication. They don't think about diet. Right away, they tell you two things. Cut your salt back, and here's a pill. Okay. How's that working? We got more heart disease than ever, and I don't want people to have high blood pressure. I understand the importance of lowering your blood pressure. Now, by the way, just from when I was in school, the numbers have really, really changed, by the way, okay? You know the 120/80? Okay? It wasn't always like that. But anyway, I don't want to get too technical. I just think that the first thing the person ought to try if they have high blood pressure is, how about we change our diet? How about we start drinking water? It's amazing what water does inside your blood vessels. Your blood vessels are the river of life. Your blood needs to flow. And a lot of people, they walk around, they have no idea that they have molasses for blood. I used to measure it. The viscosity of blood, the thickness of blood. Boy, you got thick blood. Okay? And patients, they didn't know that. I said, you got blood like molasses. And I said, you're dehydrated. No. Yes. Yes. One of the best things you can do is just start drinking water. And then, a lot of men, I don't like water. I don't like the taste of it. Big baby. I said, how would you like to have a heart attack? You're on the road to it. You need to move that blood. Drink water and coffee. And cut out the soda. Cut out the juices. Stop it. I was pretty direct, with people. I said, I love you. I love you, by the way. But this is going to be tough love for you. You're going home, and I can't go home with you. I can't do it for you, but I'm going to be your coach, okay? I love coaching, by the way. I coach hockey. I coach baseball. I love coaching, okay? And I'm going to motivate you to do it. And I said, if you trust me for 30 days of your life, we will change your life. But you got to do it. You got to do it. You might be listening this morning and you've been thinking about doing the reset, but you're looking at that mountain there and you go, that's a tough mountain to climb for me, because I find it difficult even to think about not having cereal in the morning or even my vegetables and fruit for 30 days. I said, it's 30 days. But I'm telling you, tens of thousands of people, or more than that, have done it. And they realize their relationship to food and to water and to coffee and to juices, all of it changes. They get it. They realize that they and carbohydrates had a very, very bad relationship. And they figured it out and they go, yeah, I get it. I get it. And all the inflammation they have in their body and, their numbers of their lipids, it all changes. Their A1C, it changes. And they feel better. And their brain clears up. And the brain fog starts to go away. And their joint pain for a lot of people are a lot better. They can't get over it. Their gut is better. Hey, my gut, it's so much better than it was. Yeah, because you're laying off that crappy carbs and sugars and bad oils and processed food. And you're changing fuels that we talked about so often. Okay, anyway, I had to do that Danish study because I read it again and I said, oh my word. Okay, what are the takeaways? Drink more water. Here's what you drink. Drink water and coffee. Okay, got it? Water and coffee. The rest of your life, water and coffee. Don't drink any other. Okay, I'll give you one more. Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie. Okay, you can have a perfect smoothie. And you can use that even as a meal replacement. A lot of people on the reset, they really like that. I go, gee, I'm not hungry after drinking that. Yeah, and that's good for you. Okay? That's good for you. So you change habits. And you're thankful. And you're going to get a pat on the back from me, your coach, and saying, you did it. Good for you. I'm proud of you, man. Okay, guys. Okay, tomorrow, morning session. Okay? Morning session. And Friday is what? Q&A. So send your questions into info@martinclinic.com. Guys, we love you dearly and sincerely. Talk to you soon.